Titled Of Concepts, Coconuts and the Blood of Christ. So to tell a little bit about the story, it's about an ordinary man who is street smart, who has a good command in English, but does not hold academic qualifications, ends up becoming a speech writer of a school rector because he decides to get a job at 47 and is thrown up in the hierarchy, like in the career ladder, until he ends up as a speechwriter of the Prime Minister. So I just wanted to talk about the power English has in a post-colonial English like ours, and wanted to deliberately use Sri Lankan English because that is the way we talk about. So I will start my reading. Of Concepts, Coconuts and the Blood of Christ. The day I turned 47, I decided I would get myself a job. I didn't want to be 50 and unemployed. I wanted to start the second half of my life as a bloody professional. Life goals. And that is how it all bloody started. But every time I applied to a job, they asked me two bloody questions. One, what were you doing all this time? And two, what qualifications have you got? Well, walking around the house, reading all the bloody newspapers and collecting fallen coconuts on the estate didn't add much to being a promising candidate. So, all I ever got were bloody smiles, either sarcastic smirks drawn or sympathetic lines drawn across their bloody uptight faces, glowing with the scintillation of everything they had, which I did not. What to do so? They didn't understand I wasn't there for the bloody money. Money I got from the estate. Not much, but how much money does a bachelor want for a monthly supply of rice, vegetables, beef, and Shiva's Regal Extra? And an occasional old arak. Because, after all, we have to respect the fact that we are bloody island folk. Anyway, none of these applications worked. And I went to my old school for help. I told the rector I could be a bookkeeper or a librarian or even a typist. The fellow stared at me expressionless for a couple of minutes, and I knew he was thinking about the donation my parents had made to build the colossal gymnasium some time back, even though it is currently used for a different purpose, to hold mass. He finally nodded. I tell you, his sigh was rather a sigh of relief. I was to be his speechwriter. Not bad, huh? And for 3 years, I wrote him speeches. Speeches to be delivered at general assemblies, college fees, blah, blah, blah. How many speeches must I have written? The fellow was excellent at giving sermons. So I thought my job would be easier, but good heavens, it was not. I've got to tell you, these priests, they don't understand that everyone doesn't want to go to heaven, that some of us are okay with going to hell. In this manner, by day I was his speechwriter, but you know what? At night, I was his herald of Amrita. The rector sure loved the blood of Christ. There's no bloody argument there. But sometimes the man needed his not quite holy spirit. You know what I mean, no? So I would bring him a bottle of Grants or Bacardi. Well, folks, that is why God created all the bloody grapes and the corn and the wheat and the barley, even the coconuts, before he created the man. Because those needed time for fermentation. You people have been reading the Bible your entire lives and never got that? Bloody loons of the first grade. Thank you.